Is China starting trade tussles again, or is this one of their grey zone tactics with India, where they do not want peace but they do not want war, but they'll keep poking? Why I am saying so? Because China has gone ahead and stopped Indian chili exports to their country. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and in today's session we are going to understand that why China is continuously restricting India's exports, because just last month it was the rice export consignments and this month it is about chilies. So as of now, what exactly has happened, that China has rejected several Indian chili consignments and they are saying that they have some pesticide residue concerns and they have gone ahead and suspended 3 Indian exporters. Now, Chinese authorities are giving the clear reason that there is an excessive methamidophos pesticide which is present, and the reason here we are raising the question of grey zone tactics is because this is just after they raised the concerns about Indian rice exports as well. So in this context, first thing that we need to understand here is what exactly is at stake, because when we look at chili exports to China, it is somewhat around 2.36 lakh tons. The growth as compared to the previous year has been of 31%, and China's share in our chili exports is more than 1/3 as of now. So if this is restricted at all, a huge number would be hit from the final sum. That will be a problematic not just to exporters but also to our economy, which gets foreign currency from these very exports, which supports our larger purpose, which supports our foreign exchange reserves, which supports our currency's stability and so much more. So in this context, if there is any restriction at all, because as of now only certain exporters have been suspended and certain consignments have been returned, but there is no export ban as of now. But if the questions keep rising, there might come a situation like that. So that is why this is a big deal, because the numbers are big. Now the next thing, when we look at this 1/3 of 7.15 lakh tons, China needs that. And China, that is why, imports it for India for the oleoresin extraction industry, food processing and also culinary consumption. The specific type of chili, that is the Teja variety, that is exported. Can you tell me in the comment section which are the regions which are known for the production of Teja variety of chili? Now in this context, if this matter further accelerates, it is not just about potential loss for exporters, that means their compliance cost in the coming time will increase and market will become a lot uncertain for them. So first let us understand China's end, what China is saying, and then let's try to break it down. China says that we have found the residue of a highly toxic pesticide which is methamidophos. Now in this context, it is not just a toxic pesticide, it is a proper organophosphate. It can directly affect the nervous system, and that is why it is restricted and banned in many countries. Now the possibility of this residue is definitely a questionable thing. That also highlights that how the standard of quality needs to be enhanced while maintaining the price competitiveness for exports. But at the same time, the mention of this very thing, China is also quoting that we are not doing anything wrong because this is allowed as per WTO SPS regulation. What is SPS? Sanitary and Phytosanitary regulation. So residues have exceeded the permissible limit, and rejection which has been done, this is with food safety laws, and we have precedent here, we have what we are following. So SPS measures which are laid down by WTO, they include food safety standards, plant health standards and also animal health regulation. That is what has been cited. But at the very same time, China might be citing this very reason, but the reason we are looking on the other side, because this is not the first time and it is very closely associated to another incident where Chinese authorities also flagged our rice consignments just last month. So back-to-back restrictions, and nothing before this is raising lot of eyes, especially of analysts and the exporters, that why now? Is this a start of a different trade war with India where we have been trying to normalize our relation? Or is this another grey zone tactic that China usually plays? So before we talk about that, we need to know what exactly is grey zone tactic. So gray zone tactic are basically actions which exist between extremes, peace and conflict. You are not fully friends with us, but you are not fully enemies with us, but you slightly poke us all the time. How that is done? Economic coercion, regulatory pressure, selective market access, supply chain leverage, trade restrictions. For example, the tariffs imposition by US, that is economic coercion. The restriction from not buying from Russia, selective market access. These all are grey zone tactics and China is always been known for using them. So as to not to go for a warlike situation, but always keep troublesome waters in between. And in this very context, this also highlights that this sort of export restrictions are nothing but non-tariff barriers, where you are bringing in technical regulations, quality standards, certification requirements, quarantine restrictions. Why? So that you are not placing tariff, but to follow up this, compliance cost will increase. So if the technical regulations are more, I would have to pay more. So the price of my good will be higher, and when the price competitiveness goes away, my good will suffer without tariff itself. So in this context, these are the two things that the analysts are pointing towards, and that is why exporters are concerned. Because repeated regulatory actions are showing that the non-tariff barriers are rising, and it is probably one of the grey zone tactics that China usually uses. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section. Is it non-tariff barriers, or is it a regular quality standard concern, or is it a grey zone tactic? But the question here is, India cannot just point the finger towards China that China is crying foul. We also need to look at what can be done at our end. In this context, we have to work straight up on our export competitiveness. We have to ensure better standards, better quality that needs to go out with maintaining the price competitiveness. We need to ensure better pesticide marketing. Farm to export traceability needs to exist. Our certification standards need to be global. Proper quality assurance systems need to exist. And we also need to ensure that we are not putting all our eggs in one basket. Exporting more than 1/3 to only this country, which is as unreliable as it gets, is something that you are playing with your own export market. So we need to diversify our export location, just like we have done in fisheries, how immensely we have grown. That is a sample case study for us to show that when winds put you down, you need to look out in different directions, and that sector has come out as a performer. We have already covered in detail in Flash News. You can go and watch that. And this leaves India with a very important lesson that in coming times, agricultural exports will not be just about production. They will also be about quality. So when India wants to be an export-oriented economy, this is something that yes, India needs to take in account. Now that was all from my side. I will be leaving you here with a prelims practice question. Let me know the answer to this in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your answers. Thank you so much.